There are moments in golf that feel bigger than a scorecard, bigger than a trophy, bigger than one round on one day. And right now, Charlie Woods may be standing in one of those moments. Because this isn't just about a name anymore. It's not just about being Tiger's son, the kid people recognize before he even hits a shot. This feels different. Quietly, but powerfully different. Somewhere between the pressure, the cameras, the expectations, and the flashes of real talent, Charlie may have just made the biggest decision of his young career. A decision that could shape not only how we see him, but how he sees himself. And that's what makes this story so compelling. Because when your last name is Woods, every choice feels louder. Every step feels heavier. Every mistake gets replayed. But every brave decision, that can change everything. And what Charlie appears to be choosing now says more about his future than any highlight clip ever could. Stay with me, because this story is not really about fame. It's about identity, pressure, legacy, and the moment a young golfer decides who he wants to become. And if you truly love golf, if this game means something to you, and if stories like this hit you a little deeper than just scores and headlines, then make sure you subscribe and become part of this golf family. Because golf is more than competition. It's emotion, growth, pressure, heart, and the stories behind the swing. For a long time, Charlie Woods has lived in the strangest space in sports. He's familiar to millions, but still unknown. He's watched like a star, but judged like a beginner. And he's been carrying one of the most powerful last names in all of golf before he's even had the chance to fully build his own identity. Think about that for a second. Most junior golfers get to struggle in private. They get to experiment. They get to have bad rounds without the internet turning it into a headline. Charlie never had that luxury. Every appearance became a story. Every swing got compared. Every facial expression got analyzed. And that kind of spotlight can do one of two things. It can crush a player, or it can force them to grow up faster than anyone realizes. That's why this moment feels so important. Because the biggest decision of Charlie Woods' career may not be about one tournament or one result. It may be about something much deeper. It may be the moment he decided that if he's going to do this, if he's really going to pursue golf at a serious level, then he has to do it on his terms. Not as a tribute act, not as a golf curiosity, not as Tiger's son, first, and golfer second, but as Charlie. Just Charlie. And that sounds simple, but it's not. Not when your father changed the sport. Not when fans want nostalgia every time they see you. Not when a single father-son event creates enough buzz to make the entire golf world stop and stare. But here's the part nobody talks about. Being loved by fans is one thing. Being expected to live up to a legend is something completely different. That's the emotional trap Charlie has been walking through. On one side, there's incredible opportunity, access, knowledge, mentorship, experience that almost no young golfer in the world could dream of. On the other side, there's pressure that almost no young golfer should ever have to carry. Imagine trying to learn your own rhythm while the entire world keeps asking if it looks like Tiger's. Imagine trying to enjoy the game while people are already discussing your future like it's pre-written. And this is where everything changed. Because at some point, every young player reaches a crossroads. You either keep treating the game like something you're around, or you start treating it like something you're willing to sacrifice for. That's a huge difference. One is participation. The other is commitment. One keeps the dream alive. The other makes the dream expensive. Time, work, discipline, disappointment, rebuilding, repeating, missing out on normal things, living with doubt, starting over after rough rounds, coming back when your confidence gets hit. That's when golf stops being a cool story and starts becoming a real path. And from the outside, it feels like Charlie is stepping closer to that second road. Not because of hype, not because of viral clips, but because of what this stage of his journey demands. If he keeps going, he's no longer just appearing. He's choosing to be judged seriously, choosing to be critiqued seriously, choosing to carry a famous name into a brutally honest sport where reputation means absolutely nothing once the ball is in the air. Wait till you hear what makes this choice even more powerful. It's the fact that golf may be the one sport where legacy helps the least when the pressure hits. Yes, your name can get attention. Yes, it can open doors. But it cannot hit fairways for you on Sunday. It cannot settle your hands on a nervy putt. It cannot rescue you from a round that starts falling apart. Golf is merciless that way. It strips away image. It exposes nerves. It demands truth. And maybe that's exactly why Charlie choosing this path matters so much. Because if he's all in, then he's choosing one of the hardest possible ways to prove himself. And that should make every golf fan respect him a little more. Because whether you root for him or doubt him, there is courage in stepping into this fire. There is courage in letting the world watch you become. Not just perform. Become. That's messy. That's uncomfortable. That's not a movie script. Real growth in golf rarely looks smooth. It looks like frustrating rounds, mechanical changes, emotional lessons, and tiny breakthroughs most people never notice. And Charlie's challenge is even harder, because he doesn't just have to improve. He has to separate himself emotionally from the myth that surrounds him. That may be the real decision here. Not just choosing golf, but choosing not to be trapped by the version of golf the world wants from him. That means accepting something difficult. He may never swing exactly like Tiger. He may never carry himself exactly like Tiger. He may never dominate the same way. And honestly, that's okay. More than okay. That might be the only way this works. Because the fastest way for Charlie Woods to lose himself would be to chase a copy of someone who can't be copied. And now the story gets even more interesting. Because fans are starting to realize that what they're watching is not the next version of Tiger Woods. They're watching the first version of Charlie Woods. A kid with flashes of talent, real golf instincts, a famous bloodline, and a future that is still unwritten. And there's something beautiful about that. Golf fans, more than most sports fans, understand the long road. We understand that promise means nothing without patience. We understand that timing matters. We understand that some careers are built on early explosions, while others are built slowly, painfully, one lesson at a time. So maybe Charlie's biggest decision is not to rush the timeline. Maybe it's to embrace the grind without demanding immediate greatness from himself. That matters. A lot. Because in today's sports world, young athletes get pushed into extremes. Either they're crowned too early or dismissed too early. There's almost no room left for becoming. But golf still teaches that. Golf still respects the slow build, the late bloomer, the player who learns how to lose before learning how to win, the player who gets stronger not from applause, but from frustration. And if Charlie understands that, really understands it, then this decision could be the smartest move he's ever made. But here's where the emotion hits hardest. Somewhere in all of this is a father-son story that goes way beyond golf. Because no matter how famous the last name is, every son eventually reaches that moment where he has to decide, am I going to spend my life trying to match someone else? Or am I going to honor what I've learned and still become myself? That's universal. That's human. And that's why this story resonates, even with people who don't follow every junior event or every swing video. We've all felt that pressure in some form. To live up to a family name. To follow a path others laid out for us. To carry expectations we didn't create. Charlie just happens to be living that out in front of cameras. And this is the part that could define him. If he stays patient, stays grounded, and keeps building his own relationship with the game, then the conversation around him changes. Suddenly, it won't just be about whose son he is. It'll be about how he handles adversity, how he grows, how he responds when the spotlight gets harsh, how he chooses the game when it stops being fun and starts becoming difficult. That's where real golfers are made. Not in easy applause. In hard seasons. And if you've played this game, even a little, you know exactly what I mean. You know what it feels like to doubt yourself after one ugly hole. You know what it feels like to chase a swing thought that disappears under pressure. You know what it feels like to come back the next day anyway. That's why golf fans connect to stories like this. Not because of celebrity. Because of struggle. Because of resilience. Because of the strange, beautiful truth that this game humbles everyone eventually. So yes, Charlie Woods may have just made the biggest decision of his career. But maybe not in the flashy way people expect. Maybe the decision wasn't a public announcement. Maybe it wasn't dramatic at all. Maybe it was quiet, internal, mature. Maybe it was the decision to stop living as a symbol and start living as a player. To accept the burden, embrace the process, and give himself a real chance to find out how far his game can go. And if that's true, then this is only the beginning. Not the beginning of a guaranteed rise. Not the beginning of some fairy tale shortcut. Just the beginning of something honest. A real journey. One with pressure, setbacks, attention, criticism, growth, and moments that will test him in ways talent alone